Es para que lo vean. Muchas gracias. We can gather around in here, and then you can see it closer. ¿Se puede salir por el terreno?
Oh, fine. Thank you.
Neka, you help the guy. No.
¿Cómo se llaman ustedes?
Tomás.
Tomás?
Eduardo.
Tomás y Eduardo. These are Tomás and Eduardo. Tomás is going to carry the fruit, and Eduardo is the cutter. So you see, first the fruit was graded or measured. Then the twine has to be packed away into the bag to be taken back to the packing station for recycling. Then the whole plant is lying on this pole. The foam pad needs to be in place, and that's going to reduce the friction between bananas that are lower to bananas that are higher. The cut needs to be as straight as possible, and then the banana bunch is carried to the crane. And while he does that, to hang it there, he needs to cover that cut with the plastic bag as well, because then the latex that's going to start dripping won't get to the bananas, because that would stain the bananas, and again, those would be then rejected bananas. So then, could you, cuidado, no, sorry.
No le cortan la cabeza, Lino.
So because each banana plant is allowed to produce this one bunch, then after the harvest of the first bunch, the banana is just cut. The leaves and the materials are left on the ground, and they decompose and help with the fertilization of the ground. But at the same time, that banana already had a daughter, which is already growing, and it's in the process to replace that.
¿Van a ver otro?
Sí, veamos otro.
Gli dà prima una troncata, no? Ora faccio il video intero. Se le toca a Neka alzarlo.
¿Tienen una más cerca de la calle como para, por si acaso alguien quisiera usar un...
Ya vamos al otro lado, solo vamos a este boquete y ponemos al otro lado hasta después.
Ok.
¿Pero se ahora?
A ver.
Better here.
Yep.
So you see they have to cut the base. Take a couple of cuts to release the twine.
Yeah.
I know you said this, but how old is
The plant is 9 months old. When it's from the...
Échale el cuchillo ya, primo, tranquilo.
¿Ah?
Eduardo.
Eduardo.
Hola, Irene, mucho gusto.
Igualmente.
Eduardo, para hacer tu trabajo, I'm going to find out to share with you some of the criteria that we use to run this environmentally friendly and socially responsible operations. And I'm going to ask about the personal protection equipment. Eduardo, ¿qué implementos necesitas para hacer tu trabajo? ¿Qué tienes que usar para hacerlo bien?
Primero tiene que usar el calibrador, porque, porque como uno le da un grado estricto, uno tiene que romper la bolsa, como decir, este anda a 12, es para este cable. Como si lo cortamos primero en el 14, que es 8 abajo, que es de precorta, es 8 abajo, la última mano se calibra a 8. ¿Sí ve? Y como este es 13, entonces lo tenemos que cortar a 12, Otra cosa de esto, por si acaso el machete que pasa de allá para no herirme.
Claro.
La chuza que se ocupa para cuando uno baja la fruta, para que no llegue hasta abajo, para que no se lastime. Y el machete y recoger la piola.
¿Y con guantes? ¿Tenés que andar siempre con guantes o depende de la...?
No, guante no se ocupa, pero sí, el guante más se puede ocupar para el conchero para que no aruñe la fruta.
Ajá,
Sí.
okay. So it's basically like you said, just as you pointed out, it's the protection for the legs. So
¿Me sirve esta?
So we prevent toxicity. The gloves are not strictly necessary for this particular practice. It is necessary.
¿Cuántas horas trabajan al día?
Y hasta que pare la cosecha.
They were,
Si hoy trabajan,
Sí, por lo menos si los lleva hasta las 5 o las 6 de la tarde, hasta esa hora tenemos que salir.
the fruit has a very small percentage of insecticide.
¿cuántos racimos más o menos cortan al día ustedes?
Y como decir ayer, cortamos 325 racimos.
But for this particular
Ahorita con este equipo vamos a hacer 200 las que vamos cortando ya.
Y Tomás, en tu caso, ¿qué tenés que utilizar para prevenir accidentes o prevenir lesiones? What do you need to prevent any injury or accident?
O digamos, ¿cuál es la forma en que, por ejemplo, tiene que cargar la fruta o...
Sí, uno agarra la fruta aquí para que no, y buscar por dónde salir.
Uh-huh.
Sí. Sí, evitar la piola,
Protection equipment would be
Sí.
this
que no peguen la fruta.
half-inflated thing, and calculate what the path you're going to follow, right? ¿Y cuánto tienen de trabajar aquí ustedes?
Bueno, ahorita yo en junio cumplo 2 años.
Eduardo has been 2 years with the company. ¿Y vos cuánto tiempo?
Año, 3 meses.
A year and 3 months.
What's the age that you take a worker?
It would be...
¿A qué año empezaron a trabajar?
Ahorita en el 9 de junio.
No debió qué edad, más o menos.
No, yo por ejemplo, yo en nicaragüense hace como edad de tal vez 15 años, o tal vez más, menos, o no sé.
To hire 15 years old under a special system where they wouldn't be able to work more than 6 hours a day, and where the company would have to ensure that these kids are studying.
¿Ustedes ganan por horas o por fruta?
Por fruta,
Según lo que meta uno.
según lo que la fruta que uno meta gana.
Ujú.
But in Costa Rica, 18 years old.
Do they trade off on jobs, or is he always the carrier and he's always running shade?
They usually trade. En el caso de ustedes, ¿siempre les ha tocado esta práctica o los rotan?
Bueno, a mí,
¿Cambian
o sea,
de trabajo cada día o
Sí.
se dedican únicamente a eso?
sí que el cortador de nosotros está incapacitado, entonces me mandaron a cortar a mí, yo soy carrero, o sea, carreo como él.
Yeah, there's flexibility in terms of what they do. He's saying that his colleague from the cutter is sick today, so he usually does the carrying part, like Tomás. But today he's cutting. So they are pretty much trained in all the activities. Also, if they would be performing the protection of the fruit, again, which involves anti-chemicals, they would have to follow a blood test every 3 months, and in case there's any abnormality in the results, they would be changed to another practice that doesn't involve agrochemicals to see what the evolution is. But yeah, I mean, these are experts, really. They have like clinical eye, we would say, to identify where the good bunch is, where they have to plant the plants. So yeah, I mean, they're really good on what they do, and they have been doing it with the company for only 2 and a year and a half. Ustedes siempre han estado en ambiente bananero, digamos, antes de trabajar aquí trabajaban en otra finca bananera.
Bueno, yo sí.
Vos sí. ¿Y vos, Tomás?
Otra vez.
También. They have been working in the banana industry for years, so they really developed all these skills to help us deal with thousands of hectares of bananas.
And there's also the specialization that some labors or some practices, well, this involves a lot of skill, and if you would be carrying a bunch, and maybe I'm going to invite one of you to do it, but closer to the line over there. One day we did that, and it was one of our colleagues that works in Cincinnati. It took him like, I don't know, 2 minutes to actually, dodge all the twine and go up and down and not fall and everything, so that skill is quite developed. but also the clinical eye that you have to choose, for example, which is the sucker that you're going to leave in one of the plants to develop and to be actually the one with more vigor and so forth, and where it should grow and all that. So all these kind of subtleties of the feel for how the production should be handled and how the crops should be handled are also skills that are developed over years. And so the people that are in charge of them tend to spend quite some time doing that, and then they become quite highly appreciated because then they have all the skills to do it.
What are their wages? Their wages? Well, the average... It varies.
Vaya, si quieres siguen breteando, bueno, no se atrasen, tranquilo. Ya. Ya.
Sí, gracias.
Minimum wage.
Gracias, Tomás Eduardo.
Gracias.
Thank you.
So there's adjustments every 4 months, if I'm not wrong, from the Ministry of Agriculture.
Pay for
right
fruit.
Now, I would have to
Pay
check
for
the numbers
fruit.
to tell you exactly.
I know, for example, that
Today
it
this
varies
cost
according to the
250
labor. For example,
fruit now.
the team that is doing the
A day
cutting, they
around
earn
400.
per number of bunches they harvest, and they have specific targets they have to reach.
That's how it's running.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they run. And the carrier is one of the best paid jobs in the field. Of course, because it's highly physically demanding. It ranges. It could be like $20 a day or something like that, $18 to $20 a day. The packing station workers, it varies according to the number of workers in the farm and how many boxes are being produced, because all the packing station workers get paid according to the number of boxes produced per day. But in general, all the laborers, the people that we're going to see, the parcels that are dealing with the protection of fruit and all these other activities we're going to see later, there's a group of workers that are elected by the workers that negotiate with the company always how much they should get paid for each one of the tasks that get signed. So if, for example, we would have to ask them to do one more thing that's extra to what they've been doing, then there needs to be an extra compensation or a renegotiation of the compensation for that. And it's always about more or less 10% over the minimum wage, at least.
At the very least, but we've made calculations, and Chiquita has registered to be paying even 50% above the legal minimum wage, and that's also because of the SA1000 certification. We commit to improve or superar, to better
Increase
or increase
surpass.
Thank you, to surpass the legal requirement and go beyond that and raise the bar. That's the challenge, right?
How many hours do they work in a day, and do they have breaks or?
They work 8 hours a day. There shouldn't be more than, when they have to work extra hours, then they get paid, compensated for the extra hours. But there shouldn't be more than, they shouldn't work extra hours, like not more than 4 extra hours per day, and it can't be that every day you're working 4 extra hours, right? So it has to be twice a week to the most or so.
And that would depend on the situation with the bananas if you've got.
If you have to pack 2 containers per day and just run the next day.
And that's one of the biggest challenges of the industry too, because this is not seasonal. It's all year round. There's a lot of bananas around, so that's one of the biggest challenges, to be able to meet the requirements and the legal and socially acceptable standards regarding working hours, and it's something that keeps our people very busy trying to find out the best ways to meet those standards. And there's a lot of negotiation and a lot of dialogue going on, not only with the workers' committees, but also with the trade unions, to find a common or consensus about what to do on that fact that comes with the territory, right? A lot to be done yet. We're on the way.
Yeah. Spider? Is there spider people here?
Tom and Diane.